Welcome to Your Key to Real Estate. I'm Shannon Kriska, your host and realtor. Today I have a very special show for you. I've got an incredible interior designer. Have you ever wondered what the colors in your home are saying about you? Well, let me introduce to you Jeanette Chasworth. Welcome, Jeanette.
Hello. Thank you for having me on.
I'm so glad you could be here.
I'm so excited.
Now, Jeanette, you've written this wonderful book. This book, what colors got to do with it? And I love that title, by the way.
Thank you.
And I had an opportunity to go through it yesterday. And one of the things I thought was so incredible is, how did you start? Your interior design business is very much oriented in with energy and color. So tell us a little bit about how you got started with that.
Well, in school, they teach us about the psychology of color, which is fascinating. There are colors that make you hungry. There are colors that make you sleep better. There are colors that make you more energized or more restful. And I thought that was fantastic, and I started to see how that was in the different places that I went.
Now let me ask you,
Yes.
because some people out there, how do they know? What kind of research in color psychology? What have they done that actually has some type of proof that colors affect? I mean, we know, I'm wearing pink, I feel better today than if I were wearing black. However, what kind of research goes into color psychology?
Well, there's a lot of studies there, and right now they're working on more aging and dealing with autism and things like that. So they're constantly doing studies on how color affects. This has been going on for a long time, so there's studies that are very old. For instance, a lot of restaurants you go in, you're going to see the color red because red helps you to digest better, and it makes you hungry.
Oh, I got to change that wall in my office then.
Well, that's okay because you're not eating in there.
That's true, I'm not. But after I work there a couple hours, I'm pretty hungry. No.
No, the worst one is the color you have on.
Pink?
Yes, because pink makes you crave sweets. So think about it. When you go to the bakery, what color is the box they give you the cookies in?
Pink. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So if you have a pink dining room and you're craving sugar all the time, just change the color.
Wow. What room would you put pink in then?
Pink is a great color for feminine power. And in fact, when you wear pink, the girl dressed in pink often gets the most attention. It's a very feminine power color. So it's great for a bedroom. It's great for a bathroom, an area that you want to feel that softness and femininity.
Well, I wanted to ask you about, I love some of the things that are in this book. Color that creates balance and harmony in your home. You know, we all need balance, we all need harmony, whether you're a mother and taking care of all your kids or working or both. Home is, I loved, one of my favorite things you said in your book was, or when you wrote the note into me, may your house hug you. I loved that. Yeah. I love that saying, because it's true. I mean, that's, first of all, it's our biggest purchase. It's our biggest purchase as, as a realtor. And then when you add your colors and all your little accents in there, then it really should hug you and people when it comes in. I love that. And the other thing I love too that was in there is it says that the best color in the world is the color that looks best on you.
Yes.
Coco Chanel.
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about that.
So there are all kinds of colors out there, and each person has their own personality. So for instance, this pink looks gorgeous on you. I couldn't wear it at all. It would make me look horrible. So finding the right color that fits you and brings out your personality and is a reflection of your soul makes you come more alive. If you look at somebody and all you see is what they're wearing, it's not a match. You should be able to see their beauty from the inside as well.
So let's see. What else? Oh, yeah, I know what else. Now, your friends that have read your book and everything else or worked with you as clients, you've done a lot of interior design work in their homes. I hear they have a nickname for you.
Yes.
And what is that nickname?
I'm the color whisperer.
The color whisperer. I love that. Yeah, that's wonderful. And you really are. I mean, Reading your book too, there's that little test in here about what are your colors, and there's a lot of different words you would pick of, you know, powerful or sincere or creative. And tell us a little bit about that palette. How would you, if the viewers are wondering what colors would be best for them, what are some of the things you look at?
So I look at your energy. I look at face structure. I look at the colors that are in your skin, your eyes, your hair. There's a lot of things I'm looking at. One of the things that I do is I don't just pair your personality. The house has a personality as well. So I'm looking at the bone structure of the house. And even if there's only one person living there, you've got to meld the two.
Yeah. Now, how do you do that?
How do I do that? Okay. Well, there's a test in there. There's several parts to my whispering. And one is the psychology of color. The next is the personality of color. And there's 4 different types of personalities. Each one has its own colors, shapes, textures, styles. So I will first give a test to see which one they are. And that tells me what shades of color I want to look at. It automatically takes a lot of the guesswork out. So I'll give you an example. So you're a spring.
Okay.
And look at this.
Oh, that's pretty.
So it's very light, very airy. It's fun. I mean, that's like the first word I think of when I think of you. It's fun.
Thank you.
You know? And so that's what I would want to design in your house, is fun.
Yeah, and this looks like, you've been to my home.
Yeah.
So this, you know, you were like, this is you. So I'm like, yeah, kind of, it is. I could live, you know, with these. These are really beautiful.
And then you have a secondary, which is this.
Oh, is this summer?
Yeah.
Oh, that's, yeah, I love that. This is beautiful.
So you have a little bit of formality about you in your house that you enjoy. And it's just a little bit of an undercurrent, but it makes you feel more comfortable.
I love this. This is beautiful. I could live in this room. I could live in this room. You know, all of these are very, very beautiful. And the fabrics that you've picked here, if let's say you pick a color for someone and then you pick the fabrics in their homes and everything to go with that, that's really beautiful. So what are you?
So I'm in autumn, so this is a great place for me to visit.
So you can come to my house anytime.
I can come to your house anytime. But this is me.
Oh, this is beautiful. So this is autumn.
Yeah.
So this, you have the warmer rust tones and yeah, that feels like where you would want to have Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a lot more texture. Like I said, I could come to your house and I would feel very comfortable in your house. So just because you're a spring, when I get into your space, because it reflects who you are, I'm comfortable.
Right.
Would I want to live in it? No. I couldn't live in it, but I would feel very comfortable. Same thing if you came to my house and you saw all this, you would feel comfortable because it's a reflection of who I am. So it's very much like when you have that favorite outfit and you just know you can take on the world, you get tons of compliments, right?
Right.
So it's the same thing. People enjoy when you are showing
what if you have a spring and an autumn, like a husband, wife, or whatever, you know, how do you work those colors?
Well, there's always, I said earlier, you've got the personality of the house and you've got the personality of the person. If there's more than one person in the house, it's just another ingredient. There's a place where they all mix. Or you'll do something like, my husband's a summer. So the furniture, the scale of the furniture is much more summer, but the colors in the house are more mine. Yeah. So you got to have a little something for everybody.
That makes sense. And then this one is,
this is winter.
Winter. Yeah. It's beautiful. I'm surprised that a bright yellow is winter and not summer.
Oh no, that's too much for a summer.
Is
It's too bold. It's way too much color for a summer. That's your spring coming in. If you like it, that's your spring coming in.
Yeah, because I could see too, after you saying that if you lived somewhere where there was a lot of winter and snow, which we're lucky we don't have, you know, I've noticed if you go back east or you're in, you know, where there's a lot of winter, months of winter, you're much healthier having brighter colors in your home. and more reflective. Like this one is not seriously bright, but there's such a beautiful contrast. It's very, you know, the energy is very opening and very, you know, awakening more than something dark. So these are very beautiful. Thank you. So, okay, so let's see what else. Well, now, how did you, in your book, you talk about different clients that you've had, and you've been able to help them moving through situations and things like that. So this is very different from other interior designers. Other interior designers that are, you know, they'll just say, okay, you want this specific, you know, look to the home or anything like that. You have this whole psychology that actually can transform things. Could you give us a story about that? One of those clients that was, I loved these stories.
Sure. I think one of my favorites was, I had a little girl who was about 5 years old. This is just a few years, well, she was 5 years old at 9/11. So she was 9 when I saw her. We're going through the house. I go into Mom and Dad's bedroom, and there's a twin-size bed in there for her. I said, well, what's up? Oh, she has nightmares all the time over 9/11.
Were they in New York?
No. That was my first question. Were you in New York? Did she know anybody? No, 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 no. Okay, there's something up here. So I said, let's see her room. Well, Mom had painted this wonderful carousel room for her. Did everything she could to give her little girl the perfect princess room. Her perfect princess, though, had dyslexia.
Oh.
And she had these big columns like this on the walls. With dyslexia, she doesn't see straight lines. It's this.
Wow.
So what she was looking at constantly in her room was the buildings right before they fell.
Wow.
So no wonder she had nightmares.
Oh, yeah.
And I told Mom, I said, with dyslexia, the yellow helps people to learn better. So you have a yellow pad. So if you're having trouble learning something,
that's so interesting.
Use the yellow pad instead of the white pad. And Mom told me she was spending all of her time in the living room. She couldn't get the kid out of the living room. One can of paint, and these kids' nightmares disappeared.
What did you do? Paint over all the columns?
I picked out a yellow. We got rid of the columns. The parents got their bedroom back, and she didn't have nightmares anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful story.
And what doctor would have prescribed a can of paint?
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense, because I think, again, we were talking earlier about looking at someone wholly, you know, the family as a whole, and that makes, you know, that makes all the difference in the world, dealing with everyone. God, that's a great. So give us another one.
So another one of my favorites is, I used to teach a class at community college, and one of my students came up to me and said, Jeanette, I really need to use you, but I'm not ready yet. I said, okay. About a year later, I get a phone call. Jeanette, I'm ready. Okay. I go in, and she says, I'm hiring you because you're cheaper and more fun than a psychologist. So I like that. So what I didn't know was she had lost her husband. And I walked into this house, and I tell you, it was taking a trip back to 1976.
Oh.
The house had not been touched since her husband had moved in with the ex-wife. So she was the second wife. When she moved in, she didn't change anything.
No, wait, I'm confused. Her husband passed away?
Yes.
But he moved in with the ex-wife?
No, when he first bought the house.
Okay. Oh,
with
he
the
had lived
ex-wife.
there. Okay, so she...
Yeah. When she moved in, she didn't change anything.
Okay. All right.
And that day it came out, she hadn't even changed the coffee pot.
Wow.
So I told her, you go out and buy yourself a coffee pot today. Oh, I have one in the garage. I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. I said, go get the coffee pot and plug it in and start using your coffee pot. The next time I went over there, she'd start peeling wallpaper. It was her house, finally.
Wow.
And we took the house and we turned it into her house, remodeled a bunch of stuff, got rid of all the icky 70s stuff.
Yeah.
And she was dating by the time we were done.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a wonderful story.
Yeah.
That's so, you know, when you, and also too, I mean, like she brought in her coffee pot.
Yeah.
You are the kind of interior designer as well as you work with the person as a whole.
Yeah.
But if they only have a budget of a specific amount, which possibly is just changing paint colors or a consultation. They don't have to, I mean, I think sometimes people think when they're going to hire an interior designer, it's to, you know, from floor to ceiling redo a house. You know, new furniture, new carpetings, new floors, a new kitchen. Like if you think of a new kitchen, you think you've got to do new countertops, new cabinets, new flooring. Then there's all the detailed things of, you know, the appliances and, or, you know, handles and things. But you could come in, and if I said, okay, I want to keep this, I love the furniture, I love this room, but I want to change it, what would you do?
Well, obviously, there's things that you want to keep. I get a lot of widows, and there's something that they want to hold on to the past, and they want to bring in the future too.
Right.
So, and it doesn't matter even if that's not the case. Maybe you have a family heirloom that is precious to you. Of course I'm going to keep that. But we can do a lot of things with paint. We can do a lot of things with space planning. I have one package that's just me coming in. Let's make sure your furniture is where it belongs. Let's change a paint color or two. And that can make a huge difference in a house.
Well, now we've talked about the seasons. And we talked about, you know, kind of how someone would, if they just wanted to know what their color scheme was, what would you suggest if that was just, you know, they wanted to know? Is it kind of what you, like Coco Chanel said, what you feel best in wearing? What colors you usually already have in your home, if it's something you've brought in? Those, you can pretty much match that to what your color, you know, what your colors are?
Well, once I do the season type, that tells me what colors to start with, and then I find the right shade for you. You can look at the book. There's a lot of information in there that helps you.
Yeah, there really is.
I also have an audio on my website that tells you more details. There are colorists, and I'm working on a class right now because I've been asked to go into more depth on the seasons. So that I'm hoping will be out by the end of summer.
Now, in this one too, why do you need help from a designer?
Because how many times have you heard somebody say they did a remodel and they hate it? Do you know that a third of remodels end up in failure? Not just, I don't like it, failure. That's scary to me.
That's a lot of work and a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Because most people, your home is something you have to, you live in there. You're there all the time. It's, you know, you have to, like you said, you have to feel the hug.
Yeah, and most people haven't done this before. They don't know where to shop. They don't know what to do. They don't have the expertise. And a lot of places out there are offering the services, but they're not really giving them what they think they're getting.
Right.
And so to make sure that you get the right product, that's why you need the designer. And most of the time, a designer costs you roughly 10% of the project. That's the national
10%
statistic
of the project. Okay.
That's sales tax.
Yeah.
If you're spending $30,000, I was at a networking meeting once, and this lady comes up to me, "Oh, Jeanette, I hate my floor, but I can't hire you." And I said, "Well, I just got a new floor. It cost me $30,000. And I said, "Why didn't you call me?" "Oh, I thought you'd be too expensive." I'm like, "You spent 30 grand. You know, what's giving me a little bit of money? You know, it's crazy."
Yeah.
But you don't want to end up at the end of your remodel and go, "Oh, I wish I would have."
Right.
Or be watching HGTV and going, "Oh, why didn't I know about that?"
Right.
This is not your skill. You hire a coach for everything, right? You get a sport, you hire a coach, you take lessons. I'm a design coach. I make sure your remodel is right.
I like that even better, a design coach instead of just an interior designer, because that's very limiting in a sense. But a design coach, you know, that. So, yeah, I was just looking, you have, this is really informational. You've got a lot of really fun things in here. About color is a basic human need, like fire and water, a raw material, indispensable to life. Yeah. You know, these are, and color does make such a difference. But what if, like, let's say somebody is, you know, a specific color and they don't want that color in their home? Does that ever happen?
There are some people, well, no. No.
That's easy. No, it doesn't happen. Yeah.
I mean, there's a part of what I do when I go into a house is very intuitive. and that's why I whisper. I talk to the house. I talk to the clients.
I love it.
I walk through the house, and I get more information in that first 10 minutes than I could in 2 hours talking to you. And especially when you're dealing with couples, I always say, you know, I put out something. If one says yes, the other one says no, it's just next.
Yeah.
It's just next. And I had one client, it was so funny. It was a guy, big macho guy. I wasn't getting any information from this guy. I'm just picking colors for the house. And I kept landing on this kind of mauve-y color. And I'm like, pink, 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 okay? So finally I said, listen to your gut. And I did. I said, what do you think of this color? Oh my gosh, I love it. Look at my closet. There's so much of it. So
wow.
It's instinct, and plus what's in the book as far as knowledge goes. And the color's got to feel right.
Right.
That's the bottom line. Really, my mission, and that's why I'm the color whisperer, is so many people live in these bland white or off-white boxes. And for most of us, it's really not healthy. So the quote you read about we need color, it's part of our soul. We do.
Yeah.
And so I want to get people to a place where they feel comfortable with putting something more than white on their wall. And once you live in a space that is your colors, it is transformational. You feel so much better. So you know how you feel in your favorite outfit? I can just take on the world. Imagine if your home made you feel that way every day. This is your castle. This is your sanctuary. This is your place to go restore yourself for the world. There's traffic out there. There's all kinds of icky stuff out there. We don't need that.
Yeah.
When you're home, your home shouldn't be a place that bombards you with more noise. It should be a place where you can restore.
Because the one thing I always like, I have a couple of walls that are colored in my house, not like the whole room. And I always have people go, oh, I love that color, but I'm just afraid to put anything on my wall. So actually by having guidance from the color whisperer, it gives people that encouragement to do that.
Yeah.
You know, I think to step forward and almost, you know, it's okay to paint the wall red, or it's okay to paint the wall green or blue or lavenders or pinks.
Yeah.
You know, because, I thought about making one of the bedroom walls pink. But, you know, then I thought, but what if I don't want it pink, you know, in 2 years from now? I mean, you know, easy solution, just repaint it. But, you know, to have someone like you go, no, that would be great. You could do this and that. You know, it kind of gives you the encouragement. So tell the audience, look in this camera over here, and tell the audience, if they want to get a hold of Jeanette, how do we get a hold of you?
So you can find me at thecolorwhisperer.com. And my phone number is 626-485-6354.
That's wonderful. Good. And then, of course, we have the Facebook page, Your Key to Real Estate, so they can always contact you through that as well. And then we'll post some stuff on the show.
Excellent.
So, anything you want to leave with our audience that could help them today make their house better?
There's a lot of stuff on my website there's some blogs, there's a lot of videos on there, there's a lot of information there. Really, the easiest thing if you want more is to get the book. The book tells a lot of information. It's an easy read, it's a quick read.
And for people to remember your name,
yes,
you got to quickly tell me your name story. I love this.
So my name is Jeanette Chasworth. It's not Chatsworth like the city. My maiden name was Chase, and my husband was Butterworth, and he didn't want to make me Mrs. Butterworth, so we became Chasworth.
I love that. That's so cute. So I'm glad I didn't say I have Mrs. Butterworth with me today, but we have no, you know, pancakes and, you know, whatever with today. So anyway, it was so much fun having you here, and I'm sure, you know, you've enriched the people's lives with more information and just all these, you know, if anybody just, you know, get this book. Because this book has so much great information, you know, and just to kind of open people up to possibly a new concept they haven't heard about before, which would be, you know, working with color and really starting to think about how color does affect you. And I know they've talked about that years, you know, and people who are speakers and doing things to wear specific colors that will keep an audience attracted or awake, besides the temperature of the room. So... Anyway, thank you so much for being a part of our show today. And remember, again, if you have any questions for Jeanette or myself, you can go to our Facebook page, Your Key to Real Estate TV. And it was wonderful to have you join us. And until next time, share a smile with someone else. Thank you.